So I could probably come up to like 4 or even 5 on my acrometer. Okay, starting to come together. You know what I'm saying? I think I just went a little cross-eyed at the end. I kind of like focused out. Big attacks, key to everything. Hey guys, welcome back to DMAC Customs on the YouTube. Dave here in the garage, just for a change. Last little video, which was finished about 10 minutes ago, fixing up my screw up and then fixing up my screw up of my screw up and stuff like that. Next on the agenda is the exhaust, so hopefully we'll get started in that very shortly. Before I do any of that, I've got to have a bit of a vacuum around and clean up the garage a bit from all this sort of overspray dust and crap like that. So I won't video that because that would just be a bit boring. I know some of you would be into that, but if you are, just check out my OnlyFans. Dave in the garage cleaning up on Insta. I'm just kidding, Phil. But anyway, so I'm going to have a bit of a clean up before we start kind of mapping out this exhaust. So let's get at it. I'll get at it and then I'll get back to you when I've done that. Right guys, finished cleaning up, vacuuming and dusting and stuff like that. Spun the old body around, so I decided to park it that way, just so it's kind of like lined up and ready for when I drop the body back onto the chassis, kind of, maybe, hopefully. But yeah, got this laid out. Side note, still holding air. Well, it was until I let all the air out. Obviously not a lot of weight in it at the moment, but yeah, so it's a plus. So those jerry rigged fittings are holding out and my bag fittings aren't leaking at this stage. That can't say so much for that front tyre, that keeps going down. Just gonna dig out all my exhaust bits and bobs and unbox all those and get them over onto the bench and start kind of trying to figure this out. I'll put the manifolds on, well, just loosely for now, just to you know, kind of, because I've got a bolt make an exhaust to fit them. I'm not going to put gaskets on. I'll put little bits of core fluid in there just to you know, kind of emulate gaskets, because those manifolds have got to come off for the body to go on anyway. So I'll do that. Yeah, I'll get all this stuff out anyways. Boop, boop, boop. Right. Give them a little pinch up. Pretend that they're gasket. I've actually got gaskets, got 2 sets of gaskets because I bought a set, forgot that I bought a set, so I bought another set. That little bits of plastic core fluid in there, that's just like pretend gaskets for now, just so I can kind of pinch them up, get a bit of a idea. Here's all my pieces. Oh, in this lolly container we have, if I can get into it. No lollies, unfortunately. Sweets or candy. Some of them. It's been condensating, it's quite wet in there. Ugh. So yeah, got all my flanges. I think I've got enough for everything I wanted to do. Haven't got enough gaskets. Got some rubber hangers, some 60 degrees, some 90s, some 180s, mufflers, and pipe. This is that alley clad pipe. Used this on my Plymouth, it's really good. Unfortunately, all the bends don't come in the same sort of alley clad. These look like it, but I don't think it is. But anyway, and mufflers. So inlet, oh, it's got inlet written on there. So, figure out how it's all going to fit. Alrighty, so my plan is pretty simple, but I cocked up and ordered the wrong angle for there. I ordered 60s. I probably should have ordered 30s if there's such a thing. It was just me trying to convert that into angles kind of cocked it up and I thought, oh, that must be 60, but that was 30. Terminology, that sort of stuff. Don't buy this stuff enough to know that you're buying the wrong one. Anyway, that's kind of the angle I want, because these 60s, I wanted to come straight down off there, put a flange on there, and then just kind of straight shot, almost straight shot to the muffler. I'm not sure that it will be a straight shot because of the cross member there. If that makes sense. Now, it possibly could if I shorten up where the bend starts. But so what I'm sort of thinking is, can I cut a wedge out of here, close it up, and change it to a 30 accurately, so I can get to the same, and how to actually kind of calculate that 30-degree wedge accurately to cut out of there. Or do I just kind of like start slicing, bending, and just do them both until they get, take chunks out until it looks like it's supposed to look, and then fill up all my butchery with weld. It's probably how it'll end up going. I might try and do it accurately, but then I'll end up just trying to clean up my mess. I've had a look through my little rummagey pile of rubbish over there. I do have some 2.5 inch pipe, but I've only got a couple of 90s and some little offcuts of straight stuff. So yeah, so I reinvestigated, put it using this head lead pipe, which is stainless, and it's got a smaller internal diameter, and it's all, that's what I was going to use originally, but it was just going to be just as messy doing it that way as to starting from scratch. So let me ponder this and I'll figure out how I can move forward from here. And I'll probably put a H pipe in across somewhere in this vicinity, probably closer under the trans there, under the back of the transmission, Be careful with your terminology these days. Okay. Anyway, yeah, okay, I'll figure this out. Okay, arts and craft time. I've kind of cut I kind of traced off one of these 60s, and I've worked out, some stuff on there, trying to figure some things out. So I'm going to do some experimenting with how much to cut out of this to figure out how to get to that kind of angle, and then can use this as a kind of to get a measure for how much to take out of here to kind of like change it, if you know what I mean. It'd probably have a bit of a weird flat spot on the bottom of it, but it doesn't matter. So I'll cut this out. Cutting. These were quite a good investment. These are dressmaking scissors, or sewing seamstress scissors I bought from a place that sells all sewing stuff. They weren't really cheap for a pair of scissors, but man, they're good. Until I probably ruin them trying to cut steel or something with them. But now, so I'm just going to do a simple kind of slice into there, leaving, imaginary piece, and then I can just go like that and figure out what it's going to do, to get to my angle that I'm looking for. And am I going to be able to do it nicely? That's about there. So it'll have a weird little pucker in there. I might be able to like hammer that up and stuff once I've welded it, maybe. Let's have a look. Okay. Sort of throw a length of that down there just to sort of see what's kind of going to happen if I do get a straight shot out of there. Unfortunately, it's kind of a weird kind of thing because of that thing that I put in there before, for the carrier bearing and drive shaft loops and things like that. Whereas, like if I did just change that angle to there, that would kind of work. It would work, but it might be a bit kind of goofy, if you know what I'm saying. So I had a thought. I've got that old hydraulic press over there, and I have a 2.5 inch thingy up on the bench there, up there. I'm wondering if I could put a little bit of a dog leg in there so it kind of comes across here straight and then kind of dog legs down and then goes out the back. I don't know, I reckon so. I've got 3 lengths of this, so if I kind of try one and cock it up, I only need the 3rd lengths for kind of the tailpipe section, so I could always get some more if I really need to. Point the camera in roughly the right direction to get that to kind of come down and end up like sitting sort of parallel to this cross member without interfering with it. I could even shorten up the end a bit so it kind of, you know, sits just a touch higher, and then come along and then sort of kick down and then kick back. So I'm wondering in what order to do this. Do I chop up these 60s and make them into 30s first, or do I do something with this pipage here and hope that I, you know, see if I can get that to work? More thinking. I've been sitting here for about half an hour pondering over this as it is. In my head it was just like weldy straightforward, but you know, I kind of want to get it right. Alrighty, so did a little test run in the SCA pipe bender. It actually worked relatively good to a degree. This being the first one worked real good. That one puckered up like a puckerer. Don't know why, it just did. But that one also got jammed in there a bit more, so I'm wondering whether it didn't really seat down as well in the die thing, the little Kirby cast thing. But that does give me that little dog leg. At the moment it's just sitting a bit low, obviously. We want to have it sitting clear of the cross member. We could actually go a little bit more on these bends and kind of get it running a bit straighter, or even kicking up a scotch at the back, because at the moment it sits like with my little template, that will kind of land around about the right way if I can decrease the angle on those 60s, you know what I'm saying. So I might chuck these back into the pipe bender, squeeze them up a little bit more. I put some marks, like measurement marks, I'll show you. See my highly accurate measurement marking, and I brought that so that edge of the die came up to number 3, so I could probably come up to like 4 or even 5 on my acrometer, and you know, like kink those up so it kind of gets a bit more of a pronounced dog leg, maybe a little bit more height in it. I might try 4, I'll try 5. In for a penny, in for a pound, let's do it. I'll show you how to do it. Cement it up. Yeah, so check this out. This is, just untangle that. So that's kind of where I stopped it before, so that is in line roughly with the 3. So if I push this thing a bit further, so pretty much about at the 4 there, if I go just a scotch more, take it to the 5. Yep, that'll do us on that one. Now we'll take this out, spin it around and do the other bend. Yep. That is a 5, by the way, that little mark there. It looks more like, I don't know, something else. So make that 5, and that's a 6, and that is actually a 7. So 5 seems to be a hopefully magic number. Ooh. Hopefully that wasn't too much and completely ruined that, but we shall see. Oh, damn it, I felt it. thought I felt it kind of go a bit weird, but maybe 5's just a bridge too far. Why did that one work and that one didn't? The idea has potential. Damn it. That was... The first one was primo, but the second one, no bueno. Okay, so if I could get that looking better, that's exactly what I want, I think, at this stage. Because like that, I've got it propped up on some bits of wood. Hang on, just get my shit together. If that's sort of sitting in about there, I can make that, kind of cut a little wedge out of those elbows, pull them together, weld them up. It'll be a little bit ugly, but probably no uglier than that, actually, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, don't know what I could do about that. So that's a shame that that happened, because that mark there, that's where the pusher thing was sitting, so it's kinked off to the side of it. But yeah, so it kind of does kind of flow nice and straight and parallel to the ground approximately. Not 100% parallel to the ground, but that's alright. And then we'd just have to, you know, cut a piece off here. This bit's actually bunged up on the end, so we'd have to kind of cut it off around about here, weld that piece on, you know, not the cardboard obviously, but the 60 that's on the bench, that I'll cut down and make it into a 30, and then trim back the end of the pipe there for the muffler to go on. The muffler's got to come across a little bit yet, just kind of line up with the where the 180s are going to go over the diff. Yeah, carry on. I might have another crack and see if I can do that. Is that a problem? Is that really an issue? Like if you've got a thing, is it going to mess with back pressure and crap like that to the extent that it's problematic, you know? That's what I don't know. I mean, people bang on headers and shit all the time, and you know, old Dulcich and Freiberger did something on it with engine masters and whatnot, and they actually gained horsepower with, I think they gained horsepower, or at least stayed even. So I don't know, like a little kinkety kink thing like that, you won't see it from underneath. Hey, yeah, but that's all I can do for today. I've got to get this body back in and go and get cleaned up so we can head out, and yeah, hopefully be back at it tomorrow. Alrighty, good morning. It's the next day. I'm gonna have another go with another length of this to see if I can do these two bends without kinking this. I've got a 50% chance of success, I reckon. So I'm gonna transfer all my measurements from the first pipe onto another length, and yeah, hopefully it works. So I'll show you how I kind of did it with my little template. This little piece of masking tape looks like a scrap, but it's actually a piece of important equipment. So yeah, I'll just quickly measure these off. 25. And between them was 390. I'm going to use one of the machining lines as my centre. Now this little bit of tape here, I just got a piece of tape and I wrapped it all the way around and marked it start to finish, and then folded it in half, so that gives me my like a sort of 180 mark on the other side. Isn't super accurate, but you know, close enough for what I'm doing. Oh, it actually lines up with another machine line on there perfectly. So that's my kind of centres over the top and on either side sort of thing, which helps me kind of centre it up so I kind of get them where I want them to go, if you know what I'm saying. So keep that, and now let's have another crack at doing the bendy bends on this. Hopefully it works. I might just grab Old Faithful and knock it down into the die, make sure it's right in there before I kind of crank it up. We'll give it a shot. It's squeezing in there now. That's where we want to be, I reckon. That's on 5 on my mark. $2.90. Look at that. Made my mark 100mm out. I thought that looked a little bit off. Alright, I'm just going to pull this out again. Made my mark 100mm in the wrong place. Alright, made my new mark on there in the right place. That's my knees. Yes. Let's go. Did it work? Hopefully. Look at that. Did it exactly the same as the other side. I didn't even feel it go that time. I wonder, because of my spacing, I did think of this just before I did that, that there was a mark from this back here. I wonder if that kind of like started pre-bending it and just made it want to go there rather than kind of pucker there sort of thing. But oh, that's two of them exactly the same, so at least they're symmetrical, so I'm going to run them. Okay, so I did a bit of a googling last night on what happens if you've got, like, you know, kinks and dents and stuff in your exhaust, you know, further down the line, not in the headers or collectors and stuff like that, but further down the line, what happens? You know, does it affect how the car runs and shit like that? General consensus is down low doesn't really make any difference. Wide open throttle, you know, 3,500 RPM above, that's when you would notice it on a performance vehicle. On a cruiser, it's not really going to be an issue. If it did become an issue, I could get mandrel bends for those bends, cut them out and weld in smoother curves like that. So I'm going to run these as they are with those kinks and that in them. Because, right? Don't judge. Anyway, let's carry on. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of start lining up these 180s. You're probably wondering what this is about. I'm gonna put some tape over here, because I'm gonna put that up on there like so, and use a zip tie like this. See? Scratch. Is that going to be? I think I've already done that up too much. Never mind. Right, do the other side. And put that little jammer up on there. And I might need two. This is the side I've got to base it all on because of the brakes, you see. And I did it up too much. Okay, I'm just going to cut those off, put some new zip ties on. I zipped them up by too much. Come that way it scoped. Nah, don't want to get too close to anything, really. Oh, that'll hopefully do us. I'll do some measuring shortly and square it all up so they're the same on both sides, and then, yeah, take it from there. I think we can make them the same on both sides, as long as we base it all on this side and then mirror that side. We got heaps more room on this side than that side. You know what I'm saying? Okay, right. Kind of progress. I've squared up all of these 180s, right? So I went through and I measured. I set them all up, and I even jacked the air ride right up and to see what happened and things like that. So this is where it's set, where it doesn't hit anything at full extension and full droop as it currently is. So I've sort of marked where my zip ties go. I've marked it on the front, on the tube here. I've marked it there, left and right, and even written a little front F on the front of the tube and all that sort of stuff. And then I've mirrored it up on the other side. Now, remember the 60-degree bends that I bought for the front that are wrong? They should have been 30s. Well, they actually fit way back here in a better position. That's my knees. So if I come off, I was going to go 90, 90, but we're going to foul up with the shocks. So if I come off at that kind of angle and then kind of land at about that kind of angle, we're in a much better position just to run my tailpipes out the back, kind of next to the tank, but just under the frame. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have enough room between the ground and whatnot. So, you know, down here. So if we've got a 2-inch straight pipe just going straight out the back there, should clear the petrol tank and not hit the ground every time it lays out, because this is where it's laid out at the moment, but it'll be slightly higher. So, which then creates the problem of what do I do up there at the manifolds? Where's my template? Here it is. This is the bend I need, and it's pretty close to what we got here, and we got the first bend without any too much issues, but I don't want to waste a heap of pipe because I still want to do a H pipe and I've still got my tailpipes to do, so I could end up being short. With all that being said, I'll probably run my H pipe through here. It's distracted. Can I do a 1 or 2 clean bends to get from there to there, you know? And then with my old cheapo pipe bender, give it a shot, I reckon, because otherwise I've got 2 spare 45s, 90s, sorry, which, you know, could potentially be absolutely useless. I mean, I'll probably, yeah, if I use those, I'll have to either extend them and then cut them. Could end up with, again, a patchwork quilt type scenario. I'd have to extend it down far enough to get it down to here, slice it through the 90 to weld onto there. Could be done, but yeah, then you end up with more joins. Don't really want hundreds of joins all the way through this. So my mates will give me shit. Yeah, science, man, it's tough. Let me think about this. Okay, I might have come up with a plan. Okay, so I was rummaging around under the bench the other day and I found some bits of 2.5 inch that I cut out of the bomb truck a while back. Now I had a kind of good clean 90 which I sliced down the middle, and you know, it's a bit rough at the moment. I've just been like mocking it up sort of thing, and I'm thinking if I can, it's my knees, if I can get this to, you know, land in around there, I might just be able to cut and weld that onto there like that, you see. This obviously is going to need a clean up before I can weld it, and maybe kind of even hammer that up more to a true, you know, true round again, so I can go onto there, just cut this back and onto there like that, you know what I'm saying? I could even, could I just push that back? Nah, I quite like that little step down there, kind of fits. If I pushed it back, let's have a look at the other side. It means I don't have to move that muffler. I can just push this back, like so. I don't know why I didn't do this in the first place, but hang on, I've got to put the camera down, need 2 hands. Okay, so this is what I'm thinking. I forgot that this side of the pipe obviously got beat up in transit. It's all kind of like out of shape at the back there, so I might trim these back anyway. I'm not adverse to where that step kick down sort of starts in relationship to this cross member and whatnot. Using these 90s that I found under the bench over there will lift this up slightly. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near floors and stuff. I'll have to do a double check, but looking at where my chassis is and what not, we should be all good, and that gives us a kind of a straight run down through there, you know, down to the mufflelators. You know, for aesthetics, I'd like to keep that as straight line as possible, without interfering with anything, you know, like, so it looks like it's one piece for the time I'm finished welding on it. So with all of that being said, I might cut back these two just to clear this munty bit here, trim up the other piece of this, clean it all up, get it ready to do some tacking and stuff on it. Yeah, sort of, I've bolted a flange on there as well, so I have to take that off and clean it up and get it ready for welding. Haven't put gaskets in there, that'll come later. And start kind of tacking some of this together. I kind of have to just get ahead and start doing that. I'm going to have to trim a bit off the ends as well. These will slip into those mufflers there, which is kind of quite cool. It gives me a little bit of adjustment room between the 180s and where it kind of lands. So I might kind of, yeah, I'll cut those, figure them a bit before I cut that off. Okay, starting to come together, you know what I'm saying? I think I just went a little cross-eyed then, I kind of like focused out. Anyway, cutting and stuff. Put the benders away. Don't think I'm going to go down that route now. I think I'll probably end up just wasting pipe. I think the way I'm going to do it will hopefully be neater and work. Hopefully. Anyway, the old flapper, and just give these a bit of a clean up before I go too far, I reckon. Okay, so just going to cut 80mm off the end of this. You can see, you know, couriers, freight companies throwing shit around. It's a bit dented, so I'll cut that off. Probably could hammer it out, but it kind of pulls back into where I want it anyway, so I'll cut that off both of these lengths, and I've still got to cut that one up as well and treat it like that. Clean off any I might have to straighten that up a little bit, make sure that's enough. I'll do that now before I forget. Yeah, bandsaw would be good. But yeah, just cut those, I'll be back. One down. I've just taken a little bit of that alley clad stuff off of that. I wouldn't mind trying to TIG weld this exhaust, just again for practice. Stuff that's not too visible or whatever, it doesn't matter if it's a little bit wonkety. So I need to do the other side. Before I do that, I'll go and do some checking. Alrighty, so it's my knees. This is where we're at. This is gonna work, I reckon. So this is gonna be my join to my manifold headers. They're not really headers, they're just modified stock manifolds. I just had to extend the flange away from firewall stuff or something. I can't remember what that story was, but there's a video about it. Go and watch it, man. I've did some kind of approximate calculating, well, relatively accurate, as to where the center of the pipe had to run down. Put a couple of little marks on that cross member there just to kind of center my pipes on. So, and done the other side as well. That's all kind of set up, ready to go. I've squared up the faces that are going to be welded up. That one there is a little bit more skew-if in the bend, so I might tack it and do a little bit of sort of hammering. It might not be as pretty. It won't be like beat up like that, but it might not be like, you know, mandrel bent looking thing. So I might, before I move ahead, I'll tack those up so they're kind of a bit more rigid, and don't want to kind of like fall off while I'm trying to start working out the ends. My plan for the back of the mufflers is I'm going to weld a flange like that onto the back of the mufflers, so I can take the whole rear tailpipe piece off sort of separately to the whole exhaust. That way I don't have to cut it open or whatever. So in theory I should be able to remove that rear section from the muffler's back separately from the front section, the muffler's front. You know what I'm saying? So that's my plan. So I'm gonna tack these up with the, should I tack them with the TIG since that's what I'm gonna weld them with? I'll try. If not, the MIG would be kind of like faster to just zap. But yeah, I think I might try them with the TIG. I just don't know whether I know what I'm doing, to be honest. Let me think about it. You'll see in a sec. Alrighty, so tacked. Just been doing a bit of lining up sort of stuff. These mufflers won't be that far back. I'm just using them to kind of, you know, center up where it's going to go on the thing. So next up, I've got to cut these here and here because the mufflers are coming back that far. Tack some flanges on the back of the mufflers and onto 2 of the elbows. And then from there I'll be able to work out where I can cut the U-bends, how much to cut off of those. So, right, take all this apart again, cut those, tack some flanges on, and then put it all back together again. Okay, so I was fighting with that U-bend, trying to get it into the flange for like forever, and it just didn't want to go. So I came up with a new plan, which is just to put some tacks on from the inside. That way I can see how kind of true they're sitting, you know, like and stuff. Because I could not get it to push on in any way. Just the perfect fit. If it was a straight bit of pipe, I probably would have been able to get it on just with a, you know, to hit it on the end, but could not do that in this instance. So just going to do a little quick tap from the inside. Where's my torch at? And then I'll weld it all from the outside. Probably could weld it from the inside, but I'm probably going to blow holes in it anyway, so. Come on, you bastard. Oh shit. Oh, things have gone awry. Okay, hopefully that's it. What are you doing? Crack. Bigger tacks, key to everything. Naughty. Get both of them? Yeah. Yeah. Way, right. There's somewhere to. I need some nuts and bolts actually. I don't know whether I didn't think of that. Have I got anything to bolt this together with? Don't know. I'm gonna have to go and have a look and see what I've got. Damn it, didn't think of that. while I got these front part of the pipes off, I could only get a couple of tacks on from the top before, so I'm going to chuck a couple more on the underside, on the flange, just to make sure they're nice and they don't move on me while I'm doing other stuff, you know what I'm saying? Right, so my tongue's been holding up. Chuck it one on over here. Oh Jesus. Turn the helmet on. Hello. Hey, how are you?
What is it? I've been trying to work out what it is.
It's a 51 Chev Fleetline.
Ah.
But modified. Alrighty, so bolted all back up. Slipped on the old mufflers just to kind of get a bit of a gauge on whatnot. Got them blocks and that underneath there at the moment. Now it's time, as my niece, to you know, figure out where these are gonna, you know, where I need to cut these U's, 180s, whatever you want to call them. So those mufflers can probably slip forward slightly, so backwards, sorry. So what I'll do now is mark them and cut them. I just got to get myself into a good position where I can see properly. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know, probably gonna maybe there. So I've got that. Right, just straight edge. It's gonna sit there. About there, I reckon. On there and on there. So I think I can actually, I better check if I cut. What are we looking at? About 100 mil. Come over this side here. We're cutting. Hang on. So we're cutting like about 100 mil off of there, and then that's going to come like that. Yeah, I reckon. Do I want it to run down that chassis rail? Nah, run it straight. That's about it, I reckon. So, do I take the punt and that looks right? I think it looks right. I'm starting to second guess myself. When you only kind of got a limited amount of materials and then you make a miscut, then it's like it's all over, lads, you know. You just got to weld heaps of stuff back together you didn't want to weld back together. Hang on, I'll just put you guys there all crooked. Let's do a comparison measurement. Alrighty, so I did some more cross-referencing measurements and stuff like that, and it was out for some reason, don't know why. So I split the difference. It was 110 here, 140 here, so I'm going to go 120. I know that math doesn't add up, but so I'm going to cut these down and weld those or tack these elbows on, and then hang it all again, and then start working out the tailpipe section. So I'll cut those. I won't film that because I'm pretty sure you know what it looks like cutting some pipe with an angle grinder by now. So let's get at it. Right, battery went flat, but yeah, just about to get some tacks on these whoopty-woos. Can't get this one to lay as flat as I want. Maybe it's my welding table is not quite square. You think? Yeah, there. That's enough tackage that'll hold, I think. Hopefully, that should be alright. This has been absolutely kicking my ass, just trying to get it sitting right and whatnot. So like when the air ride fully, you know, goes up and down and stuff, nothing hits and it's all got heaps of clearance and stuff like that. But I've finally got it sort of sitting where I want it to sit. So I've tacked on the mufflers onto the straight pipes, and I thought before I go any further, I shall figure out how I'm going to put a couple of hangers in, like one on there and then one on the C-notch on either side somehow. I've got a piece of bar that I'm thinking I might use with those little rubber doodads, these suckers, and kind of hang them off the side, sort of like that maybe. Alrighty, so here's my plan. I'm just going to use like a J-hook sort of thing on the front here, and kind of weld it back there, probably tuck it in quite close. Basically just drill and tap into this, right about there, but in the middle, right about there. Look, the little man, it's got little hands, horns. There. Anyway, that's where I want to go, in the middle of that little man. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll just use the MIG to tack those on upside down, clean off all this galv or whatever it is that's on this bar, and measure off that, do the same on the other side, drill and tap, and then tack that one on. Yeah. My knees. Right. Okay, so I've just propped up the old mufflators a little bit more, so I'm going to weld that on there, and I'm expecting some sag once I kind of weld that on there. So I've just chucked another couple of bits of wood underneath the mufflers, so when I tack that up, and it's got a bit of room to droop, you know what I'm saying? Alright, so I'll just figure out how to get into position to actually do that. Alrighty, so I have done those ones. Now I've got to do something for this over here. Trying to figure out, been rummaging around, found these bits of old tad. Holes are a bit on the large side, but I was thinking of welding a captive nut into it anyway. You know, something like that. You know, kind of, it's my knees, you know, tagging that up in there like that. It means a bit of a touch up on this tube and that here, and then let's see if I can do it one-handed. Hang that mother, probably from the other side actually, hang it in like that. The only problem is I haven't got enough of that round bar to make more J-hooks, but I did find something over here. I'm rummaging around in this. Not that whopping great big thing. If I had two of them, have I got two? Oh, look at that! I have got two. I don't know where they came from, but they're kind of like, I just got to cut them off, and then I've got like J-hooks. Hey, yeah, they're zinc though, so a little bit of modificating and they'll be fine. I didn't really want to weld. I was going to see if I could just kind of bolt, you know, drill and tap into there, which would be ideal, but I can't remember how much clearance I've got between this bar and the back of the in the boot, you know what I mean. So yeah, can I get a drill in there to drill and tap in there? I don't know, I'll figure something out. So got those tacked on. Now this is, well, it's a little bit higher than ride height at the moment, but as you can see, plenty of clearance for everything. I'll drop it. And that's kind of where I sort of set it up from. So once it comes right up, there you go. That's probably about as far as it would go. It's going to be heaps of room there. That's around about ride height, about there. So that's heaps. These are the last tailpipe bits. Not quite sure, I might cut them a little bit longer. I've got to do these elbows to start with, but I'm just going to tack them together with the MIG, because I can do that one-handed. I'll tack them together with the MIG, and then I will, when I take it all apart, I'll probably TIG them all up. Still got to do the H-pipe yet. Okay, so I didn't didn't push record while I was tacking those on, but I've got those in within point. It was 0.1 of a degree, now it's 0.2, so that's close enough for me. I'll cut me a couple of lengths for my actual tailpipe section now, and then we'll set about tacking those on. I've just got to measure up, see how big I want it, how long I want them. I'm probably just going to put a couple little down turns at the end, got to figure out where that's going to be though. At this point, I could even cut one of those 90s into a 45, or cut it in half and just off the end. But for now, I'm just going to run straight pipes out until I can figure out where all the bumper and all that's going to land. Do some tape measuring. Hopefully that's far enough across. It should be. It should clear the tank. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. Right. So I've measured them. I've got to cut 2 at 720. So there. Yep. I don't know. I ain't gonna have enough for my H-pipe out of this lot. I might have to have a scrounge around in my under bench for see if I've got any more 2.5 inch pipe, gully clad stuff. And where's my tape and a pen? Where's my pen gone? Got to cut to this side of the line. Just tape on the other side as well. Over here. That's side of the line. Zippity disc. Right, I'll cut these and then tack those on as well, you reckon? Well, still got to do hangers down here. It dropped when I took that spirit level out from underneath it, but I thought, oh no, what's going on? But it's just because I've only got 2 bolts in that flange there, and it's got they're the wrong size bolts as well, so they're kind of moving around a wee bit. So once we get 3 bolts in there, it should be right, or at least tighten them up. I'm going to do another set of hangers for down here, but probably not today. Running out of day. I got to go and pick the young fella up from his weekend job. So on the whole, pretty happy. Kind of don't like the flex on those hangers there, but once we get a little bit of the load taken off with these ones. They're probably not too bad. Well, they're alright, I guess. They just look a bit ugly because I had to drill those things in on a bit of an angle for the fanned angle, but they'll be right. They're only going to be essentially carrying from that flange back anyway, weight wise. Most of the main exhaust will be carried on these guys here. Well, they're kind of spread over the whole thing really. Got a little bit of flex. Hopefully it doesn't crack it. Unless I get, probably should have got one of those like flexi tubes for up the front, but I don't know, I never used to have those things, but seem to be a thing now. But yeah, that's what I got to do. H-pipe stuff. I was thinking of just running one through here, just behind the cross member, but I ain't got enough. That was my only big offcut that I had left, unless I made it out of one of those and one of those, because I'm gonna make it separatable anyway. So I could do that and just have an offset flange. Mess with my OCD a little bit, but it's not the end of the world to have an offset flange in there, is it? You know, these things. My buddy at Pure CNC cut for me, and Pure CNC works in Greaton and Tauranga. They cut those for us. Cheers guys, if you ever watch this. Probably not. Challenge. And anyway, yeah, so that's where we're at. Been a long day, I tell you. But on the whole, kind of liking how, as long as it clears everything under the floor and shit, I should be quite happy, I reckon. I forgot to mention, I can change my mind from welding onto this and just drilling and tapping on the backside there, so that worked, I think. Okay, so this week's theme. Okay, so all put away for now. That tailpipe's hanging down. I wouldn't mind trying to kick those up just a scotch, but I'm hesitant to do too much with these back here until I've got the body back on and I can see where it's all going to work with the bumper and stuff like that. So for now I might just do hangers at the back and leave it at that. I know it clears when it's laid out. Does it? I can't remember. I think it does. I think I set it up. Yeah, I think it just clears when it's down on the bags in there at the moment. But yeah, that side there, still haven't got another bolt in there. Got to go and buy some a bunch of bolts actually. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 bolts. I've got all the ones for the manifolds. I just got to chuck some spring washers on there, which I think I've got some. But yeah, I just need bolts for all the other flanges and the hangers for the back. I think I might have some for the hangers at the back. I've got an idea. I might have to use the old rib cert for that. Old Faithful. But I'll probably just, you know, put one back here or something, a rib cert, and put the hanger and another little J hook or something like that just at the back there, just to kind of hold that up, stop it going nanga 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 and rattling on things like that. We don't want that. Nope. Anyway, that's it for today. I've run out of weekend now, so I might try and get down here and during the week and chip away at a couple of things, but essentially she's all tacked to get together. Other than that, what do you call it? H-pipe. Yeah, so till next time. Tomorrow maybe. Well guys, that's where we're going to leave this video, because I haven't finished the exhaust in this video, and I was planning to make one video about the exhaust, but I started editing it and it just turned into a you know, epic bloody like huge thing, and I couldn't decide what to cut out of it because I kind of, you know, it's a process, man, you know, it's a process. So I'll leave it at that for this one. If you haven't subscribed, get over there and hit the button, like, share, comment. You know, got any questions or you got any feedback, positive hopefully, get down there in the comments and let us know what you're thinking. And yeah, as always, thanks for watching. Till next time, take it easy and peace.